Okay, hey guys, it's Sky. I'm really happy to be connecting with you right now because I feel like it's been a minute since I've had a chance to talk to you because it has. I've been really involved with missions that the light beings have sent me on, and they just now said get connected and start communicating again and do a video as they are. And you know, when I was just in the middle of writing and doing a project, and sometimes that's what they do. They just kind of stop and interrupt my day and connect with me because it's really important right now that we all are connected to what is going on with the planet and what we call the end of times, and how the prophecies are coming true, how it's going to relate to you and I. And really, for me, it's messages from the light beings because I try not to be some psychic prophecy kind of thing. I'm just showing you what they are telling me. Again, they met me 3 years ago. They gave me visions and dreams, and they're beings of knowledge. They're actual light beings, interdimensional beings that are visiting me and so many other people right now with the same messages. And really, I want to tell you, they're messages of pure love because I know, and you know, and many other people know that we are right now at the end of what we call time. And I want to say time isn't linear. And I'm going to have to go into an esoteric place with you because I don't know how else to give you this journey. And I know that if you're listening, you can definitely follow along. So time, we mean from beginning to like you're young and then you're old. Well, that's linear. In truth, that's not real. You are eternal. You're an eternal being. You've lived before your birth and after your birth, and this energy being has we call that linear. We call that from beginning to, in the middle of that, we call that beginning to end. And when we travel interdimensionally and we get outside of this box of this third dimensional reality, how you see life, time, dimension, place from one thing to the other, when we travel beyond that, we can see that it really kind of rotates more of in a circle, and it's just continually evolving. Now there's beings that can pull themselves out of this circle and look at the entire picture. Sometimes that being's a higher version of yourself, sometimes that being's an actual entity, an ET, many times, in most cases right now, what we're dealing with on planet Earth, there are entities from all kinds of places that have kind of tapped into this thing. And we know now we're not alone. We know that we were introduced to let me just say, there's aliens, there's extraterrestrials. We're introduced to aliens during during World War II, Eisenhower, or during the Eisenhower time, the atomic bomb. We dropped the atomic bomb, and then, you know, the aliens approached us. They wanted us to give up our nuclear weapons. We did not. We sent out a stress call. After that stress call took place, different aliens approached us. Aliens is within this dimension. There are extra dimensional outside of the firmament outside. So within here, we were approached by some aliens. They kind of came through this firmament, and you know, when you're approached by these things, you kind of almost look at them as God, because they do have they're supreme beings. They do have more actually, you can almost say they're the falling ones, because I can even take you back to the Nephilim. You know, we were in these Stargate, we were all in heaven, and these the beings that fell out of our constellation came down here and started to create and procreate. Anyway, so through time, these Luciferians, I mean, call it the Luciferian experiment, you can call it, you know, Lucifer wanted to expand God, and he knew that expanding God was to create more of something that wasn't, so that would expand him. So he was a rebellion. So he came out of the constellation that we're all in, and other people followed. We followed, but some of these people actually had intermingled, and we ran off, and we were genetically spliced in many areas, and many things happened. So there are groups that wanted to go past the firmament. They wanted to be higher than the Godhead. So they created this world, this evolutionary planets that are able to take this past the Godhead by creating more evil, creating more God. And then once this started to take place, the darker kind of forces just kind of ran with us. Now, we might even say these darker forces, we can call them archons, because archons are, before there was light, there was dark. So we must acknowledge that the Creator is dark, because there was dark before there was light, before we came into existence. So I just want to stretch your mind into the archons, and then out of that, the earth, wind, air, fire came. Now these are all deities. Now some of these ran off, getting back to modern day time. When we had this separation, this fall, we knew that we had certain powers. Some of them were Luciferian, and we took them, some people took them to extreme levels, and they went off into Satanism, which is completely different. And the Satanism went into, they started to set up these like incarnation grids, and they started to circulate into this planetary system that we have, this firmament. And they started to gain leadership, of course, because they have powers, and they come in reptilian form, but they also shapeshift into human form. They also shapeshift into forms that are able to become amoeba-like forms and attach to the human aura and connect to our aura. And a man named Rob Potter explains this very, very well. But this is also what the light beings have explained to me. So I really want us to pay attention to that. When our auric field is open, we are open to the more negative forces. And since the quarantine has been off planet Earth since 2012, we had all said this, I had said this before in my other videos, that there was going to be entities here that were going to be able to attach to our auric field. I know this. I communicate with some of them because they know who we are, and we are able to, it's like it's a sensitivity. So I just want to move on, because I'm connected to the beings that are trying to move us in a direction where we understand what's really going on with the planet. And those beings really you can narrow those anything down to your higher self, because it's not me that's just getting these messages. So these darker forces are on the planet, and they're shape-shifting into leadership. They know who we are as human beings. They have set up, we have our Stargates. That's not fiction. That's not some fantasy sci-fi thing. We have our Stargates, the Himalayas, the Gaza Strip. We have our Stargates, of course, all the major events where things have been invaded on the planet. And this is where these darker entities have come in and taken over. Many times there's churches on these Stargates, or satanic rituals on these Stargates, or darker things happen because, and these portholes and these vortexes, because they want the darker races. They came here 26,000 years ago during the Lemurian, the Atlantic times, when we were in cahoots with each other, and we kind of fell. They came in from the Orion Council when they fell from heaven, and they came in and invaded, and the Lemurians were already here. So anyway, and that's when the intermingling came on, started to happen. So what happens is these darker forces that are running the planet, they have taken over our Stargates. They've kind of captured us in many ways, through our televisions, through our microwave, through celebrities, through making you think that we are separate, that there's somebody bigger, there's somebody over here, there's somebody that wants to go over here and be a Hollywood star. There's somebody who wants to be a big corporation. They provide a want, a needing to want something different than who you already are, your God self. So they set up these ideas of having us separate, and we're not. So in that form, they have a way to control you, and through television and through celebrities and through life, through how we think that life should be, through churches, through dogma, just all kinds of ways to make you think that we are anything but the holy God self that we were meant to be. And people feed into it. You know, people go to work for these crazy places. People go to work for structure. They work their asses off to be sane in an insane society. They make their houses these big houses that they can't afford just so that they look good on the outside, because the structures are set up like this. This is what we're doing. It's a false facade. It's a matrix that has been taken over, and people that aren't taken out of the matrix buy into this. You think it's real. It's not. What's real is your soul, your essence, who you are, the God light being within you. God, creator God. Not God of this planet, Lucifer, Satan. That's not that God. The God, creator God of all. That's who we were meant to be. Not in the image and likeness of some satanistic thing that's running this planet. We were creator. We were creator gods in the image and likeness, not of the aliens, of the highest. Although the aliens, the higher, the Nutaru, in the name of God, helped create us. And then from there, we were created. And we can't be oblivious to the Hebrews coming in and, connecting and creating the Adamites when one of the Anunnaki brothers did not want this Adamite created, because they were part of the people that wanted to pass the firmament. Remember, there was a firmament plan to get past planet Earth. So, so anyway, that's going to kind of get off subject between the two Anunnaki brothers, and I don't want to go too far off subject, but some of them are there's one good and there's one, just like in life, there's a male, a female, a good and a bad, a yin and a yang. So, but because not all that's bad, but I understand that there are the darker alien races working with our the whole elites of this planet. They're in control of this planet with Jesuits. They're all under orders because they think they own this planet, and you buy it because you believe that people have control over you. When you're dependent on your government, when you vote, when you do all this stuff to think there's something out there that's going to give us our good, you buy it, and they set it up like that, but you do it yourself. So we need to overcome the illusions of the world and what's really happening and get back to our true nature of oneness. Our true nature of oneness cares about each other. None of this stuff happens. You know why? I have my memory back of Lemuria, and in that place, we didn't live like this. And I'm not the only one getting my memory back of Lemuria. There's beings from the center of the earth that are connected to us, that have kept their promise to us. We can check in with the Native Americans and from Lemuria and Mo, and we know that they are there, and we know that they're waiting for us, and we know that they're going to be connected to us, and we know that our beings from the higher galaxy are also awaiting this. And I also understand that we are the last planet in the galaxy to rid this planet from all the evil forces. And there's a huge alliance that is happening to make this come forth. Now, we might think that a lot of bad is happening, but that's a bunch of crap, because it's clearing out a lot of stuff. You have no idea the plan that is going on to resurrect this planet. It's huge. It's vast. It involves the most sacred ascended masters. It has been in motion for a long, long time. And many people have reincarnated and incarnated to have this, see this and be part of this. It's not an overnight thing. We're just all connected to Creator, so we all have the internal we all have the internal clock as to when that's going to happen. You know, I know that people are changing because they're wanting to have more God, more Creator God in their life. They're wanting to clear out. They're wanting to maybe change their jobs. Like, you're changing who you are because the sun is changing its rays and it's sending off its signals differently. That sun, the son of God, son of the with the other, aligning with the other planets, is not going to leave us. We're going to be headed off into with the higher realms. Our ancestors did not forget us, and we are in store for the most amazing time. Now, the Illuminati and all that, when you watch television, there's this illusion that wants you to think there's this terrorist and nuclear war, and that's just a bunch of crap. In truth, in nature, it's just a bunch of alien things just kind of make sure we fight amongst each other. And what's funny is we all kind of know, and we're just going, and we're just kind of waking up and just not buying the bullshit, not contributing to what's going on. And I don't think you can fight what is, but you can create a new. So that's what we're doing in this new golden age. So in the end of times, there's absolutely nothing to be alarmed or afraid about. This is no shock to us. Some of this stuff has been written about, and it's such a beautiful time because we are really letting the light come into the world in the most fabulous ways. I mean, we have no idea what is in store for us. It's beautiful. I'll tell you, there's ascended masters around the corner, around every circle of this planet right now, prepared for these major events that are going to happen. There's ships all over this planet. There's ships at the four corners of the earth, I believe, and there are ascended masters below in the Agortha, and there are beings above. And we're just like one by one waiting for the time. We've all been on missions, and we're even in our subtle ways. Our mission in our subtle way is just maybe telling your neighbor you're sorry, or doing something that you really want to do with your life. Or your mission in your subtle way is writing your congressman and saying no more. Maybe that's your big subtle way, or whatever you have to do. Or there's all kinds of people around the planet that are doing so many things. I know there's tons of police officers that are signing notes that saying they're not going to engage in protecting their government, but as they were assigned to do, they were going to engage in protecting their citizens. So that's going on all over Italy. I believe it's Italy that started. This is a huge, vast thing. We've all been ignited in a very beautiful, positive way. The people that have either been contacted or have gotten telepathic messages or have somehow gotten a knowingness or kind of like an understanding. The light of the world is coming to connect with us, and it's really been here all along, but we've been blocked to it, and the illusion is lifting. And I think it's just beautiful. I think it's going to be the most amazing time ever. There's so many volunteers that are out there in our galactic family that are prepared for this and so excited to connect with us. Many of them have contacted a lot of people around the planet in a lot of interesting ways. So, I say that we need to open our hearts and our minds and connect to the highest being of who we are, and really welcome the end of times, the end of linear time, the time as we knew time, like I said in the beginning, because it's going to be time where we understand time in all of our dimensions, and we understand time as in our Stargate times and how it all is interrelated. So the end of times is we knew time, and then going into the golden age. So I just want to be clear on how to relate to this, and really thank the higher beings for pulling me off my little writing project today, and just making sure that I checked in with you. And I'm sending you all the light in the world. I know that everybody does not agree with me. I'm not asking you to agree, but I actually thank you for searching, and I thank you for opening your heart, because I know that we're all going to be guided to something very, very spectacular. It might not be my way, but it will be a way. So I thank you for checking me out and continue your search. Thanks.